Hey friends, Mystery here. Been tinkering around with the old Infantry Lasgun today. As you may or may not know, it just got a buff. It'll be live in like less than, what, like a day and a couple hours with the new update. This gun got a sizable set of buffs, and I am pleased to say I think it might be a real contender for another kind of really good weapon in the game. What Fantrack did is they kind of looked at the the role of the gun. Is there anything we could slot this into? What can we make sort of the niche that this gun does better than anything else? And what they settled on is efficiency. This gun is crazy ammo efficient, and it puts out some really respectable numbers to boot. So I wanted to kind of go over that today, give you an idea of what you can start to anticipate building around this gun for, what it's good at, and compare it to some other weapons. So if you like this sort of breakdown, if you are excited to see some builds with this, because I'm definitely got some builds, all slotted up and ready to go with this thing, you should subscribe and you'll catch them. Okay, so let's first start with the basics here. What's this gun buff looking like? What did they do to it? Well, this gun, they added a bunch of ammo to it. Basically, they upped the size of the magazine and they upped the size of the reserves by a lot. That gets further multiplied by the veteran's passive. Now, most of the discussion today, I'll be kind of assuming that we're talking about veteran stuff, because this is like, it's a veteran weapon. You could certainly probably use it on the other classes that have access, but I think the veteran, he's just the best user of these sort of guns, so we're going to be comparing this against other options on the class. And this weapon got a really, really hefty ammo buff. Look at the ammo counts on this thing. 142 over 1295. That's a little bit over 1,400 rounds total. And this thing shoots one shot with two of those energy rounds. I don't know what you'd call it, but that's about 715 total shots. That, for reference, this gun fires 5 rounds per second. That means you're firing for like 2.5 full minutes before you run out of ammo, and that's crazy. That's a lot of rounds downrange. But I wanted to make certain I wasn't crazy, so I went in and I started to crunch some numbers. So the first thing I did is I wanted to compare these marks, and there's 3 marks for the gun, right? There's the heavy, the medium, and the light. And the heavy does like roughly 2 times, almost 2 times what the light does on a shot, but it has a lot less ammo. And keep in mind that the heavy and the medium take 3 ammo per shot. So I went ahead and ran those numbers. I basically just took the number of shots it gets and multiplied it by the base damage of the weapon, which of course can go up and down depending on whether you're getting headshots or what target you're shooting against. But that's just a good way to get a feel for how potent this weapon could be. So the heaviest one here gets about 98,000 total damage across shooting all of its ammo, which is really respectable on the large scale of things. The middlest brother has the middlest title at 100,000, and then the light fast firing variant, the Mark IIB here, which I think this one is going to be potentially very powerful in a lot of gameplay modes, not even just expeditions, but this thing has 118,500 total potential damage, and that's at the low end of things, right? That's assuming that we're getting body shots only on a 1.0 ADM target. There is potential to take this even higher because these weapons are inverse fall off. What that means is, let's go ahead and show this on this build right here, where I have no talents. I also have a gray weapon. This gray weapon here, if I inspect it, it says that I'm going to do 152 on a flak armored headshot. So if I run up to this flak armored guy, shoot him in the head, 152, what do you know? But if I get some distance away, then I shoot him in the head, 192. This weapon does about 25%, 26% more damage. That's the cap, actually. More damage at long range than it does at close range. And as you can see, there's sort of a fall off as you get closer in, and it picks up as you get further away. But you really don't have to be all that far away before you start dealing the cap of 192. So potentially that 118,000 possible damage that this thing is doing could actually be something closer to 150k if you're at a decent range when you fire those shots. And that's not even considering headshots, etc., etc. So let's compare that to some other weapons, just so you have an idea of what the power level is we're looking at here, as compared to the Recon Lasgun, which I think is probably a nice comparison point for a lot of people. The Recon Lasgun, this is the most efficient variant, the 6C here. Hey there, 6C. This thing is 88,000 is what you'll get out of it. So a clear 30,000 more damage on a full ammo pack with the Infantry Lasgun. And notably, when I'm running with the Recon Lasgun, because it has so much less damage, it only has 88,000 damage, that really just means I'm running out of ammo, right? That's a measure of how much damage I can do with my full ammo. So I end up having to run Shock Trooper. You see how many extra points it takes to get Shock Trooper? It takes 1 point for Shock Trooper, and it takes 1 point to get this, which really isn't that useful to me. So yeah, that's 2 wasted points. On my Infantry Lasgun build, I don't even take it. I don't even bother. In fact, I should realize that's actually better than that. Okay, so I just made a improvement to my build right there while we're live. Yeah, this is not necessary on the Infantry Lasgun because it's so damn efficient. So yeah, this weapon absolutely mogs the Recon Lasgun in terms of efficiency. You can get the same blessings on it too. You could apply Infernus with this. If you wanted to go for an Infernus Infantry Las, you probably could do pretty well with that. Now, the other weapons I compared it up against, of course, were some bullet weapons. I think that those are the other ones, the full auto sort of shooty weapons. The braced autogun was kind of surprising. This thing hits about 102,000 across its entire ammo capacity. However, the real problem here is you have to be damn close to deal that damage, because if you don't get close, you're going to miss some shots because you can't actually aim with this thing. And it only gets 30% extra damage on its headshots, which is pitiful. For comparison, our Infantry autogun Infantry Lasgun rather, gets 60% extra damage on headshots, which is way better. The one that I was the saddest to talk about was the Infantry autogun, the IAG. I picked the Vrax Mark V because this thing, it's sort of a legend of old that this weapon was busted once upon a time. As you can see here, does really well with criticals. Not as well with headshots, but criticals are crazy on this gun. However, just its base damages, if you're not getting crits on this thing, its base damages here are pitiful at only 58,000 total damage. It just doesn't have any ammo, right? It just has no ammo capacity at all. So you end up running out very quickly. And also, this weapon is supposed to compete somehow with the Recon Lasgun. Not even a chance, because of course the Recon Lasgun, it can get Shock Trooper. That extra crit chance converts itself to more ammo, which means more damage, right? So getting crit, which adds more damage, actually adds more damage to the gun. The Infantry autogun, all those bullet weapons, they don't even get that benefit. So yeah, if you wanted to go for a literal infinite ammo weapon, you could go with the Infantry autogun, or Infantry Lasgun here rather. I'm constantly confusing those. Probably said it like 3 times wrong in this video already. But yeah, the Infantry Lasgun could potentially have unlimited ammo, because we have not only the potential to take something like Shock Trooper, but also there's a blessing in here. If you're using the heavier firing marks called efficiency, every half second you're going to cut the shot cost by 2/3. So instead of taking 3 battle recharge to fire a shot, you'll take 1. And with those slower firing variants, 0.5 seconds, that's pretty reasonable to get that sort of efficiency. So then you're multiplying your potential damage by 3, like 300k if you're firing efficiently. You would literally never ever have to pick up a single ammo pack in the entire game if you were firing like that. So yeah, this gun does have a lot of potential in the game. And let me show you something that they really did for this one. This is, again, my favorite mark of the 3, the Mark 2B. This thing has a lot of potential because it is just this fast firing like this, right? You don't really even have to aim all that much. It just has a good damage throughput. I'm not worried about my ammo count at all. It's very much like the Recon Lasgun in this sense. However, you can be incredibly precise with it. And they did knock its recoil down a lot. So one thing you'll note here is that it does have some recoil still. See how it climbs right there? But I found a little bit of interesting tech. If you start firing while you're still aiming your character, it doesn't move at all. I have no idea what causes this, but if you just start firing and then hit your reticle on a target, it's literally not moving. I'm not moving. So yeah, that enables you to just like be moving through the environment, start shooting, find your target, and then just hold on that spot. and kill everything that gets in your way, because you're going to hit the exact same spot over and over and over again. And then you can just aim at head level across the arena and just kill all of the little dudes as well. And note that, by the way, all this firing, okay, remember that the 1295 is our ammo cap. We're back. 2 small ammos to fill all that shooting back up, right? So literally no concerns with ammo at all. The amount of damage you can put out with this thing is incredibly respectable, and I think that plus some buffs to Executioner's Stance and the general outdoor environment, especially if you're going to be playing expeditions, give this thing a whirl, because those long-range engagements with a scope out there, at least not scope, but like sights, is amazing. Because, yeah, it gets that extra huge boost of damage at long range, which many of those engagements are. I am highly looking forward to seeing you guys try this thing out for yourselves. Let me know what you think. Of course, it sucks against Carapace, but what doesn't? Oh, right, we're veterans, so we don't give a fuck. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one real soon. And Mystery out. Bye-bye.